In this lesson, you'll learn how to use the OB postpartum template to quickly and efficiently document a routine OB postpartum visit in NextGen Knowledge Base Model version 8.3.11. We're logged on to NextGen Ambulatory EHR with an encounter for an OB postpartum visit open for Maria Jenkins and the intake template selected. The clinical staff workflow hasn't changed. The user would select postpartum check as the reason for visit and enter vital signs, medications, and allergies. If the delivery information hasn't been previously documented, the pregnancy outcome template can be accessed from this link. The Edinburgh Postnatal Depression Scale document can be printed and given to the patient to complete, or the patient's responses can be documented electronically by clicking here. The intake documentation for this encounter has already been completed and will move to the Postpartum tab to document the provider workflow. The panels included on the OB postpartum template allow providers to document an entire routine postpartum visit from one template. Data documented here shares to corresponding fields within other workflows, wherever possible, simplifying the process when encounters become more complex and the provider needs to navigate to other templates. Let's scroll down to view more of the template, and then we'll document Maria's postpartum visit. Document the delivery date on the General panel to calculate the postpartum interval. To easily view the date documented on the Pregnancy Outcomes template, collapse the Reason for Visit panel. If the outcome's been documented, the information will display here. You can also add and update pregnancy history, generate a pregnancy outcome document, and view any documented OB problems from the Pregnancy Outcome panel. I'll add the delivery date on the General panel. The postpartum interval displays as 6 weeks and 6 days. Next, we'll move to the Reason for Visit panel. Let's document the details on the HPI. The Postpartum Details HPI allows you to quickly document information pertinent to postpartum care. If the patient's pre-pregnancy, last prenatal, and current weight were documented in the OB workflow, the information will share here and the system will calculate her total weight gain. Maria states that she isn't having any difficulties with nursing, nor is she having any of the problems listed under postpartum details, so we'll select the All Others negative checkbox. Maria didn't have gestational diabetes. However, if you select the Yes option for this question, this alert displays to prompt you to order a postpartum glucose. Selecting All Negative under Additional Details will mark No for the items that haven't been documented. Since the Edinburgh Postnatal Depression Scale was documented during the intake process, Yes is selected by default and can't be edited. To view the Edinburgh Postnatal Depression Scale screening documentation, click the link. You can view the patient's responses here, edit if necessary, and click OK to save and close. There's a link to the Female General Review of Systems, and you can use the My Phrases functionality to document additional details. I'll add the rest of the documentation and save and close. The HPI details display on the grid. We'll collapse the panels we've completed and move to the next panel. The Vital Signs panel is included, so you can view and add this information. Now we'll move to the Physical Exam panel. The Postpartum Exam is a one-page exam that includes the elements commonly assessed during a postpartum visit, including a wound exam section. As on other exam templates, you can click the links to access a detailed template for each system. You can also use and manage My Phrases for both the physical exam and wound exam. Since the steps for documenting an exam haven't changed, we won't show them here. I'll enter the information and save and close the template. Next, we'll move to the Assessment and Plan panel. Code Z39.2 has been added to today's assessments by default for the OB postpartum visit type. If needed, you can click the links on the left menu to add assessments and orders. The Consent and Procedure Scheduling buttons provide easy access to procedure-related documentation. We don't need to enter any additional assessments or orders for Maria, and we'll scroll down the template to complete the documentation. Document counseling by selecting the checkboxes in this section and contraceptive information here. If you selected the Yes option for gestational diabetes on the postpartum HPI, the postpartum glucose needed alert displays. Select the checkbox to document the test was ordered. Additional plan details can be typed or added using My Phrases. The elements documented here help with reporting for PQRS measure 336. Successful reporting for this measure requires documenting breastfeeding evaluation and education, gestational diabetes during pregnancy and postpartum glucose testing, family planning and contraception counseling, and postpartum depression screening. I'll close this window and complete the documentation for Maria. We're done documenting on this panel, and we'll collapse it to complete Maria's postpartum visit. Document instructions for the patient's next visit by clicking the Return to Office field to select the time frame, and the Follow Up With field if you want to specify a provider. I'll add and save the information for Maria. This is a routine postpartum encounter, so we'll finalize by clicking Submit to Superbill. The system uses elements documented on this template to calculate and submit the 99024 visit code. That's all it takes to document a routine postpartum visit using the OB postpartum template.